Let's talk to the other weirdo. Just for discussing the new topics. Maybe he has more to say. Ah, the Church of Pizza. Mooncalf. Oh God, what a name.
I have some more questions. Ask them, if you must.
I must.
What can you tell me about a golden sword?
Ha 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 ha! You should talk to Malaclips, the mad priest over on the other side of the temple.
Well, he doesn't want to tell me about a golden sword. I'm not worthy.
I'm sure he'd be delighted to talk to you about golden swords.
He's not delighted. You know, I just don't see him having anything useful to say, so I'm just gonna leave.
Well, I'll be on my way.
I'll be here should you choose to repent.
Yeah, just stay there.
Did I tell you that we're giving away free tea towels to anyone who joins this week?
Really? That's a good deal. Free tea towels for joining a cult. Small pool. I didn't see that one.
The only non-denominational feature in the temple was a small pool of water in the central atrium.
A small pool of water.
What was I going to do? Go for a swim?
I could try asking the Count if he knows any hiding place.
I see, sir.
Sir has. But he's probably not going to want to talk to anyone about a hiding place.
With the assassin...
Nope. So I can't talk to anyone about the hiding place. Against my better judgment, I think I'm going to go ask Horst about the jewel.
Ah, Mr. Luton. It is always a pleasure to see you. I trust you have brought something with you that will be to my liking.
Maybe. Maybe not.
I haven't brought you the sword yet, if that's what you mean.
I'm a patient troll, sir, but there are limits to my patience.
The jewel wasn't the kind of thing I wanted to discuss with just anyone.
Fair enough. Especially not with Horst. Let's try talking to Nobby. Maybe he knows something about all the cases that we have open. We have a bunch of cases now.
I need your help again, Nobby.
Well, okay.
Okay.
I suppose.
You suppose. Probably not gonna want to talk about the hiding place.
With the Assassin's Guild looking...
Nope.
Do you know anything about the Varberg crates that were on the Milka?
No.
Well, that was a definite no.
Do you know anything about the crate belonging to the von Uberwalds that was on the Milka?
Give me a break, Luton. I don't know everything.
I think you wanted to say anything. You don't know anything.
Do you know anything about the wine barrels that...
Give me a break, Luton.
What about if I show you a picture of Regan?
I'm looking for a dwarf named Regan. He's been missing.
Missing? What kind of missing?
The regular kind.
Missing for a few hours, missing person, missing in the shades. Help me out here, will you?
Missing person, I guess.
How long's he been missing?
3 days.
3 days? You've got to be kidding. That barely counts as a hangover in Ankh-Morpork, let alone a missing person case.
A 3-day hangover. Ooh, that's brutal.
How long would he have to be missing then?
I'd say at least 3 weeks.
3 weeks?
But that's enough for everything to get cold.
Of course, it'd depend on who he was. If the patrician went missing for 3 hours, it'd warrant an investigation.
Justice for some, eh?
Exactly. Well, you've been very helpful. What about, actually, if we go to the wharf, because Regan was with Carlotta, if I remember correctly, Mr. Scoplet might know
Still
something
here.
about it.
Not for much longer, I hope.
Do you recognize this dwarf?
I showed Regan's picture to the first mate and he recognized it.
Hey.
Yes, I think that was the dwarf who pulled up in a carriage shortly after we docked. I think he collected some of the cargo, too.
Do you remember which way he went?
He drove away upwards at high speed. I wouldn't be surprised if he'd caused an accident somewhere down the line.
Okay. Something. That's something. What do we write down? Regan's carriage.
Can you tell me anything about the carriage the dwarf was driving?
I'm sorry, I can't remember. My memory isn't very good. I need things to jog it.
Would a crowbar work?
But that's not what I meant.
It would jog it, but maybe not in the right direction. Do you want money?
I suppressed...
No,
I was...
I'm only just gonna ask for money.
I...
Maybe. Now we can talk to Nobby about it. Since he may have caused an accident.
I need your help again.
I suppose.
By the way, if you hear chirping in the background, there's a very loud bird just outside my window. Lovely.
Did anyone report a speeding carriage 3 days ago?
Funny you should ask that. Sergeant Colon was almost run down by a carriage 3 days ago.
You don't say.
He's been going on about it ever since. Says we ought to have speed limits for carriages.
You should.
How would you tell what speed a carriage was going?
Well, a watchman's instincts are never wrong.
You could always go for a more preventative approach.
Like what?
Or you could ban carriages altogether.
Yeah, that'd work.
Hey, you could go one step further. You could ban people from Ankh-Morpork, and then there'd be no crime at all.
You know what? I think you're onto something.
Well, there'd still be the trolls and the dwarfs. And the gargoyles and the gnomes.
You could ban them too.
And the undead and the golems.
Yeah, just ban them all.
Of course, the golems don't make much crime, and the gargoyles' only crime is Avicide. And it's not like we're short of pigeons. But the trolls and the dwarfs, well, I mean, they make as much crime as any of the humans, maybe even more.
It's no fun when it's this easy. Like shooting fish at a barrel.
Like shooting fish at a barrel.
Hey?
Never mind. About this carriage the other night. Where did Colon see it?
Colon. Oh dear.
I think he said it was headed for the Magdalen Bridge.
Okay, new location. Go!
It wasn't much of a lead, but at least it was something.
There must be some trail.
Usually you could only get a lead out of Nobby with a scalpel.
What do you know? He was useful. Cheers, Nobby. Catch you later. Where is this bridge? Here we go. Magdalen Bridge.
The Magdalen Bridge was one of 10 bridges that linked the city of Ankh to the city of Morpork. It was an unremarkable structure, most famous for the number of suicides it attracted.
Lovely.
The trouble with trying to drown yourself in the Ankh is that you're more likely to break a leg falling onto the thick crust of the river than actually come near any water. Still, if you were heavy enough, you could eventually sink into the depths.
What a way to go.
I can think of nicer ways to go, though.
Yeah.
And much quicker ones, too.
Sounds like a slow death, sinking into the river Ankh.
The River Ankh.
Hey, torn fabric. So someone must have fallen through here.
Some fabric had caught on the railings of the bridge.
Da-da-da-da.
I'd found some fabric caught on the railings of the Magdalen Bridge. It was distinctive enough that I hoped someone would recognize it.
Someone. Who would recognize it? Maybe Carlotta? Or the Count?
Something had clearly lost control on the bridge. Something with wheels.
With wheels.
Beyond that, it was difficult to say.
A carriage, probably.
I wasn't about to scrape...
All right, let's go to the Count.
I wasn't strong enough to bend the railings back into shape, and frankly, what would be the point?
But that just proves that something going at a really high speed went through here.
The railings had been damaged. There was no telling when they'd become damaged, though.
I would say maybe about 3 days ago.
It wasn't as if I came this way every day. I doubt many people did.
And the people that did probably didn't come back, if you know what I mean. Let's have a chat with the nice Count.
I see Sir has returned.
Yes, Sir has returned. Or Carlotta, is she in?
Is Carlotta home?
Alas, no.
She's never in. Look what I found.
Do you recognize this fabric?
Yes.
Yes?
It's familiar.
Familiar?
Yes. I remember. It's from the carriage. I liked the carriage. Do you know where it is?
From Reagan's carriage?
Yes. Yes, from the canopy.
That's what I thought.
So, Regan most probably crashed through that railing. But where is he now?
I found someone who saw Reagan's carriage the other night.
Just let me know when you found Reagan.
Okay, straight to business then. Ah, I was hoping Carlotta would be here. Huh. You know, I would just like to go down from the bridge, because there's obviously something down here where the carriage fell. The carriage might still be there, on top of the river Ankh, because it wouldn't sink.
I'd already had to dive onto the Ankh once. I wasn't about to do it again. Besides, the river seemed slightly more liquid here than at the wharf.
Oh.
Well, I use the term liquid loosely. If it wasn't for the fact that it moves faster than the surrounding land, I wouldn't know what to call it.
I do have a grappling hook. Maybe I can lower myself down if we attach it to the railing. Open the inventory. Thank you. I don't have a rope to it, though.
Rope first. Stupid ideas later.
Alright, so I need to get a rope.
I was hit by another inspiration. I could use the grapple to dredge the water under the bridge to see if there was anything down there. Unfortunately, I'd need very long arms.
Well, Malachite has very long arms.
The river...
You know, this thing down here really looks like rope. But of course, we need a specific type of rope. This won't do. Alright, let's get Malachite, but I also imagine I need some rope. Where was it? Rodin's workshop.
Well, I'm back. 3 nights ago, Reagan left the wharf in Ankh, heading hubwards in a carriage. Did you see him?
Don't know nothing about that.
Okay. He's only interested in therma things.
I wasn't about to hand the grapple back to Malachite without a reason.
Alright. But he does have really long arms. I still need some rope, though. Can't I fashion this fabric into a rope? Oh, hey, it's gone! And here's some rope.
When the Milka left, someone must have left one of the mooring lines behind. That was careless.
So careless.
Some people will steal anything.
Yeah. Some people like me.
If I pride myself on anything, it's that I don't steal without a good reason. Well, I don't steal rope without a good reason.
We have a good reason. Luton, you're not using your brain. Take the grappling iron hook. Tie it here.
Some people will steal anything.
Yes, they will.
And that includes me, it seems.
Yes! Da-da-da-da. So the milk is gone. No more Milka. But now we can go here and try to hook us up. Our words.
I suppose I could have attached the grapple to the railings and rappelled down to the river Ankh. But that was a dangerous way of searching the river. I had a feeling there was a better way to use the grapple to search the river.
Directly in the river? Where are you going?
There was something down there. I was sure of it. But I wasn't strong enough to pull it up.
Oh, Malachite.
Listen carefully, Malachite. I've been patient with you, and you owe me a favor. I need you to use the grapple to pull something out of the river Ankh. I don't know for sure what it is, but it's big. Too big for me to lift. But you could do it. And I figure you owe me one.
Find Therma!
All right, you big dumb troll. I'll carry on looking for Therma if you help me get this thing out of the river. Do we have a deal? Yes? You scratch my back and I'll scratch yours. Or something. Whatever you want scratched, within reason.
There's a lot to scratch.
Don't want scratching. Find Therma.
Okay. You pull thing, I find Therma. Got it?
Need grapper.
That may be the first intelligent thing you've said to me.
There's no problem. We have it. Do I hand it to him now? Here you go, buddy.
Ready now?
You lead.
With pleasure. I hadn't been able to move whatever it was in the river. Malachite pulled it up onto the bridge like it was made of paper. I wasn't surprised to learn it was Reagan's carriage, but it still wasn't clear how it ended up going off the bridge. Amidst the wreckage, I found a small ornamental box. But before I could examine it in detail, Malachite took an interest. I didn't want to give it to him, but he looked like he'd rupture a fault line if I didn't. He kept insisting that the box proved that Therma was alive, or at least that's my best interpretation of what he was trying to say. With his usual annoying habit, Malachite just walked off, taking the box with him.
What the hell, man?
That left me to get back to my usual habit of not really knowing what was going on.
I really wanted to know what was in that box.
The carcass of Reagan's carriage lay on the bridge like a beached whale. I searched it, but I'd already found everything of interest. The remains of a crate was all that was left.
Oh, his body is here.
There was no doubt that it was Reagan, and there was no doubt that he was dead. The poor sap must have suffocated in the Ankh.
Ugh, what a way to go.
I searched Reagan's body, but all I found was a pair of tiny bite marks on his ankle.
Ankh piranhas, maybe?
Either he'd been bitten by a snake, or a very small vampire.
That would be a very small vampire. Well, there's not much else. So Reagan's dead. I can go tell the Count now. Wait a second. Is that Reagan, though? He's bald here. Is he wearing a toupee? How do I use that?
One thing had been bugging me since I'd found Reagan's body.
2 seconds ago.
In the iconograph that the Count had given me, Reagan was bald. Here, in the flesh, Reagan had a full head of hair. I had to pull hard on his toupee to get it off. Reagan must have glued it on to stop it from flying off as he drove the carriage. Underneath the toupee was a small key. I guess it must have been important, or he wouldn't have glued it to his head.
Da-da-da-da. That probably opens the box that Malachite ran with.
I searched Reagan's body, but either he...
So he was bitten and hiding a key.
I've got a few more...
Go.
I thought I'd better break the news of Reagan's death to the Count before asking any questions about Reagan's things.
Yeah, I guess that would be the sensitive thing to do. I mean, hey Count, I found this key on Reagan's dead body. What? Reagan's murder.
I'm afraid I have some bad news for you.
It's Reagan, isn't it? He's dead.
He's dead.
I'm afraid so. I found his carriage near the Magdalen Bridge. It must have lost control and skidded into the river. Reagan must have drowned. Or suffocated. It's hard to say with a river like the Ankh.
Very well. Of course, I will pay you for your time. If you should hear anything else in connection with this case, please let me know. Otherwise, consider the case closed.
Oh, I don't think it's closed just yet.
There is one thing. I think Reagan may have been involved with a troll singer named Therma. I'm not really sure about the details. I'm sort of investigating the Therma case at the moment. But since I'm not getting paid for it, I may have to give it up.
Indeed. How would you feel if I were to pay you for the Therma case and you continued to investigate it?
I'd feel a little bit richer and a lot happier.
Damn straight.
Very well. It's agreed.
I kind of feel guilty that I'm roping this old man into paying for everything. I still haven't received any money, though.
I found this key on Reagan's body. I was hoping you knew what it opened.
No, I'm afraid I don't. But I don't think it's for anything in the mansion.
All right, if you think so. There wasn't anything to be opened in the mansion anyway.
I'll be back later.
I look forward to it.
Now, where did that fool Malachite go? He's probably not going to be here. Oh, he is. Well, what the hell, man?
Well, I'm back. Do you know anything about Reagan's murder?
Yeah, fine, Therma. Whatever. Okay, let's talk about the box that you stole. Apparently I have nothing to say about it. Cool.
I didn't want to discuss Reagan's key with just anyone.
Come on. He just took off with a mystery box and we're not even going to discuss it? A little bit? So Malachite has nothing to say. Fucking screw that box. Hey, there's something on the ground. Haha.
I knew that someone had pushed the card under the door, and I knew what it meant. It meant that I should have fitted a letterbox.
Yeah.
Have arranged meeting with Therma on the rooftops at the junction of Sally Street and Phaedra Road. Come immediately.
Salis and Phaedra. There wasn't much around there. Nice and quiet.
I think I have an idea of who I would like to take with me. Maybe Malachite is interested about my upcoming meeting with Therma.
It's not been easy, but I've arranged a meeting with Therma.
Take me there. Take me to Therma.
In a moment. First, there's a couple of things we need to discuss.
Like the box you stole.
Take me to Therma. Take me now.
Okay.
I guess we're not going to discuss anything.
The rooftops above Salis and Phaedra were quiet. No one had a reason to be up here. I was looking forward to meeting the mysterious Therma, and I was hoping I might get some answers out of her. Unfortunately, the last thing I remember was looking up at the moon. The next thing I knew, I was being arrested by the Watch. They told me Malachite was as dead as two sides of bacon, and I was the prime suspect.
Oh man, again? Being the prime suspect?
His back had been chipped away like he'd said something particularly insulting to a disgruntled quarry workman, and they seemed to think my crowbar was the murder weapon.
Oh boy, keeps getting worse and worse.
I had the opportunity and a possible murder weapon. All they were missing was motive. And anyone who had ever tried to get an intelligent comment out of the troll had a motive to kill him. It looked like I'd been stitched up as nicely as a fine genuine tapestry.
But I was working with him to find someone. Why would I kill him?
They took me to Pseudopolis Yard to be interrogated. They had a salamander lamp shining in my eyes, so I couldn't see what was going on, but I could hear Nobby and a troll talking in the darkness. It was probably Detritus, the first troll to join the watch. Detritus was the troll many people in Ankh-Morpork thought of when they heard the word troll, bringing back as it does vague memories of sudden concussion and extreme pain. Sometimes you'd hear 2 short planks being described as thick as detritus. Your ideal street cop, in fact.
So I'm a good cop?
No, I'm the good cop. You're the bad cop.
Dan, why don't I get to prod him a bit with my fists?
Because we're supposed to get information out of him, and it's hard to understand people talking through a mouthful of loose teeth.
I can smash lightly. More like a gentle caress, right?
A gentle caress in the mouth, with teeth falling out.
No punching.
I can kick?
You know it's bad when Nobby is the voice of reason.
Using minimal acceptable force. Like Mr. Vimes says.
But I'm cooperating.
Lots of it.
There's no need.
No punching, no kicking. We just talk to him.
Talk?
Right, well, I'll talk. You shout.
All right, you done it. Own up now, we know it was you.
No, not yet.
Oh, all right.
I've just got to start the audiograph.
Right. All right, you done it now. You got to sing like one of them flappy twittery things.
Wait!
I've got to start the recording properly, otherwise it doesn't count. Right. Interviewing Suspect Luton. Present, Corporal Nobbs and Sergeant Detritus.
How is he a sergeant? Above you, Nobbs.
Now?
Now.
All right, you done it. You might as well make it easy on yourself. Everyone know it was you.
This is my interrogation, is it?
Don't you change the subject, you miserable excuse for our horse's donkey.
Just tell us what happened, Luton.
Here are the facts. Fact. Mundy was killed. You found at the murder scene.
Knocked out.
I was unconscious.
How you knowing you was unconscious if you was unconscious, eh?
Wow, well, you got me there.
Foiled you with logic. Now you listen to me good, and then we see who wears the long 2-legged garments. Fact. Escape thingy, Mount Malachite.
Thingy? You mean troll?
Nah, not escaped troll. Escaped,
Feline.
Escaped feline?
Yeah. He escaped from a holding cell.
Is it possible the word we're looking for here is felon?
That's the one.
What did he do?
Hey, we asked the questions, you miserable arugaraha.
Arugaraha.
You know what arugaraha mean?
He knocked over the Van Uberwald mansion.
Oh.
I never knocked over the von Uberwald mansion.
Now, that's what Malachite did.
So what does arugraha mean?
In the precise moment that dog droppings turn white.
Uh-huh.
I think you'd better get back to being the bad cop.
Yeah, I think it's better for everyone.
I'm the good cop.
Now, I'm the good cop.
So that made me...
The bad cop.
So how come I not get to hit you then?
We can't beat him up, Detritus. That'd be police brutality.
It only brutality if you leave marks what show. Escape thingy, Mount Malachite. Was killed, and you was found at the murder scene there too.
Again, knocked out.
Once again, I was unconscious.
Oh, how convenient for you. 2 murders and 2 unconsciousnesses. What about the murder weapon, eh? What about the crowbar?
Tell us where you got the crowbar, and I'll give you a smoke.
One of your dog ends? No, thanks.
I'll get you coffee. Maybe some cherry cake. New suit. You get to choose the colour.
I think you're taking this good cop role too seriously.
Yeah, just get me a house while you're at it.
Thank you. Now my turn. You want to fall down the steps to the cell without leaving your chair? It's fine by me.
Look, I had a meeting with a troll named Therma on the rooftops of Salis and Phaedra. I'd arranged it on Malachite's behalf, and when we got there I must have been knocked unconscious by the killer. I know it sounds improbable, but that's how it happened.
2 murders, and you happen to be unconscious at the scene of both.
You got to admit, Luton, it's a little far-fetched.
You want I should make up a defense? You want I should lie? This is the Lawyers' Guild all of a sudden?
Just tell us what you know.
I've told you all I know.
How come you know Malachite?
He hired me in the streets.
I met him in the streets. He wanted me to find someone called Therma.
When you find out he was a felony?
A felon. And I didn't find out until just now.
Luton, you're going down for murder. I don't think it's worth pretending you don't know who Malachite was.
I didn't.
I didn't know who he was. Do I need to draw you a map?
To what?
It just doesn't seem right, Luton.
Nobby, you know me. I have no motive to kill these people.
You being a detective and all and not knowing one of your clients was an escaped felon.
I don't really ask that many questions about my clients. Plus, he didn't talk much.
What can I say? I guess I'm not as good a detective as you are. You want to know what else?
I wouldn't mind that map you mentioned. Might make things a little clearer.
Shut up, detritus. There isn't a map.
He said there was.
I kept following Malachite's case because it intrigued me, and the more I dug, the more interesting it became.
And the more I dig, the more implicit I become in these fucking murders.
What did you find out?
I don't know. I guess I learned that I shouldn't have tracked down Therma. It seems likely to me that she's Malachite's murderer. Why don't you interrogate her?
There's no troll named Therma in Ankh-Morpork. You expect us to believe that this Therma killed Malachite and Mundy and framed you for both? Come on, sing like a pigeon on a stool. You done it, didn't you?
There's no reasoning with you, is there?
Not often.
Come on, you ugly sewer scraping. We want something we can believe.
You ugly sewer scraping. Now that's a fancy insult.
That's enough, detritus.
Ooh, who's that? Who's yellow?
Sir?
You can go.
I did it right?
Let's say you were everything I expected. Now go and write up the report. Not in crayon this time, please.
That should keep him busy for a few days.
He may be slow, but he's not an untrustworthy killer like you.
Why the personal interest in this case, Vimes? I'm sure you've got more important things to do now you're commander of the watch.
My reasons are my own.
You're not interested in my guilt or innocence. You're just out to nail me.
Frankly, Luton, I've got all the evidence of your guilt I need, and if I get my way, they'll lock you up and melt down the key for scrap iron. You're a bad cop, and I don't have any time for you.
If you're so convinced of my guilt, why the interrogation?
Nobby has this deranged idea that there might be some extenuating circumstances that we ought to find out about.
Well, what about that? Nobby does care.
It'd make everything a lot easier if you'd confess, Luton.
But I don't want to confess something that isn't true.
I'm sure you had a good reason to do what you did.
No, I actually have zero reason.
Let us help you. Cigarette? Holiday for 2 in Quirm, sea-facing room, we pay the minibar bill.
Well then, yeah, okay.
I'm not guilty and I'm not confessing to a crime I didn't commit.
Listen to me, Luton. We're conducting this interrogation because I believe in upholding the law.
There is no law in Ankh-Morpork.
True enough, but there's my law, and there's the patrician's law. Which would you rather face?
What's the difference?
Lord Veterinary considers it a happy state of affairs if the punishment can involve the actual perpetrator, but sees it as by no means essential. I consider it to be absolutely essential.
But you've already decided that I'm guilty.
That doesn't mean I've proved it.
And if I prove my innocence?
That's not going to happen.
Then what's the point of this farce?
Smoke?
No.
No.
The thing is, Luton, we just want to find out what happened.
Do one decent thing in your life, Luton. Help us close this case.
I am trying to help you.
Why should I?
So we can close this sorry little act and concentrate on the threat to the city.
The threat?
The counterweight killings.
Surely you have other suspects for the murders I'm accused of, even if you don't think they're part of the counterweight killings.
Smoke?
Smoke?
A set of the complete plays of Whell the Dwarf bound in nearly real leather?
Ooh, that sounds really good, actually. Nearly real leather, though.
No, I don't want a smoke. I want to know who the other suspects are.
At the moment, you're top of our list.
That's why I said other.
Although you are the bottom of our list, too.
Oh.
I am the list, aren't I?
Sorry.
Don't apologize, Nobby. Listen, Luton. There are other suspects for the counterweight killings, and we're investigating those. But for Mundy and the Troll, you're the bottom line.
Ooh, I can suggest suspects. Who to suggest? Was it Therma that showed up? We don't know, but that's who we were meeting. Maybe Horst, but I don't think he showed up in person. Nah.
What about Therma?
Ah, yes. Therma, your mysterious troll who no one else has heard of.
For all I know, Therma's not her real name. The point is, someone agreed to meet me and Malachite, and whoever they are, they have to be a suspect.
Do you have any evidence that this troll exists?
You can ask Sapphire.
Talk to Sapphire. She arranged the meeting.
This would be the singer at the Parrot, right?
Right.
Right.
I don't know how to break this to you.
What?
Try quickly.
She's gone.
Gone?
She's skipped town.
Doesn't that strike you as suspicious?
Yeah, a little bit.
Shouldn't you be following her up as a suspect?
We looked into her for the Mundy killing, but she had a watertight alibi. Face it, you're the only suspect.
What about Horst?
What does Horst have to do with anything?
He's been watching me. He's up to something.
He's always up to something. But he's not a murderer. Not by his own hand, anyway. He'd never be so careless as to carry out a murder himself.
Yeah.
He's not that dumb.
But he would delegate that.
What about Al-Khali?
Al-Khali?
One of Horst's cronies. I think he's been following me.
I guess I could interview him.
Why do I have a feeling that you won't?
Face it, Luton. You killed Mundy. You killed Malachite. And you tried to make it look like it was part of the counterweight killings.
What about Reagan?
The dead dwarf? What about him?
Another murder in suspicious, almost ritualistic circumstances. He's a nobody, but it has all the hallmarks of a counterweight killing.
Are you confessing to the murder of Reagan?
No. I'm just saying that Mundy and Malachite aren't the only nobodies to get bumped off in mysterious circumstances.
There was nothing mysterious about Reagan's death.
People don't just drive carriages off a bridge for no reason.
He was driving recklessly across this. It's probably just a suicide. Maybe he was just drunk.
What about the bite marks?
Bite marks?
There weren't any bite marks. I looked.
Reagan was murdered. I'm sure of it.
You've got bigger problems than that right now, Luton. I suggest you concentrate on them.
Doesn't it make more sense that both Mundy and Malachite were killed by this so-called counterweight killer?
That's what you'd like us to believe, isn't it? You make the murders look like the counterweight killings and hope to get away with it.
That's it, isn't it? You're not interested in me. You want to catch the counterweight killer.
You're just a low-life killer, Luton. My job is to protect citizens from people like you.
What? You don't even like them much. You think they're all criminals.
Maybe, but murder leaves the place too messy.
Look, Luton, we don't think you're involved with the counterweight killings. But we have to know which ones are which if we're going to stop him from killing again. This is your chance to be a hero, to help us to catch a foreign assassin.
A hero? There's nothing I can do to save myself. Why should I care about the rest of the city?
You were a good man once, Luton. This could be your one shot at redemption.
I was never that good a shot.
You ought to know, Luton, that you're a suspect in the counterweight killings. That crowbar of yours was palace property, which means you had access to at least one of the murder sites.
You're getting desperate, aren't you?
We're wasting our time with you.
Will you explain to me why you're so confident that Mundy and Malachite weren't killed by whoever was responsible for the rest of the counterweight killings?
Everyone else has been sort of important. Mundy and the Troll were nobodies.
Quiet, Nobby.
You're crazy. You think you found a pattern and you're forcing everything else to fit it.
We're doing our job.
I can see that we're going nowhere, and we're obviously going to get arrested, so we might as well just give up.
Nothing I say is going to convince you of my innocence, is it?
It doesn't look that way.
All right. Yes, I was in Mundy's room when he was killed, but I was unconscious. And yes, I was on the rooftops when Malachite was killed. Again, I was unconscious. I don't know what happened, but somebody knocked me out, and whoever they are, they're the one you should be looking for.
Fine. If that's the way you want it, that's the way you'll get it. Give my regards to Lord Veterinary when your trial comes up. I doubt he'll be as patient with you as I have. The fact is, mister, that with you behind bars, the city will be a slightly better place.
They delivered me into the hands of the palace guards, who delivered me into the walls of a holding cell. I had a bad feeling about the way things were going. Mostly people who were sent to the patrician for trial got seen right away. Rumor had it that being put in a holding cell pending trial was like being filed away in a drawer marked forgotten. And not a very big drawer at that.